Our last morning at the Airbnb in New Hampshire, I had the pleasure of a cooked breakfast. And even some banana bread. After a slow morning and cleaning up, we had leftovers for lunch and hit the road. Out of the Airbnb and back onto the trail. Been pretty good so far today, not too tough, but this is the day where we're trying to get as close to the start of the Whites as possible. The White Mountains of New Hampshire. Ooh, almost tripped there. Anyway, the Whites are known to be one of the toughest parts of the trail, maybe tied with southern Maine. I'm a little bit nervous. I think it might be cold and steep, maybe unpredictable weather-wise, but I'm also really excited for the challenge. And I haven't looked up the pictures of what it's gonna look like or anything, so I'm really excited to see. It's a new place to discover, and I'm looking forward to that. I happen to have some friends in that area who let us come crash for the night. We got to enjoy the amenities where they worked. Even real beds.
Will, one of the previous outdoor adventures.
Waking up this morning and leaving was so hard. Even though we've been going less mileage than usual, it's still like, I don't want to get up. I just want to be comfortable and lazy for a while. But, you know, we have a mission to do. It's kind of like when you have a job and you're like, I don't care about this job anymore, but you continue to work hard and try your best. It's just one of those situations. I don't really mean it, but it was really hard getting going again. And now, like 100 feet into the trail, it's a river that you have to take off your shoes in order to cross, or else they'll get wet. I mean, like, I guess you don't have to. But an obstacle right away. What a day it's gonna be. And we're officially entering the Whites today, by the way. So, nervous and scared. I mean, excited and scared. Whew. That'll wake you up. Wow, what does it mean that we're 1,800 miles? I remember 800 miles. I think that was in Pennsylvania or something. But now we're getting so close to 2,000. That doesn't seem real. Seems like, how could anyone do that? And I guess it's ironic because just this morning I was like, oh, I don't want to hike. And now I'm like, wow, I'm so accomplished. Mount Moosilauke, here we come. As I was setting my pack down, moving it off my shoulder, my shirt ripped even more. Halfway down to my elbow at this point. And I'm just worried that it's gonna keep ripping and ripping the bigger the hole gets. And then, I'll find a sewing kit eventually, but I don't know. I guess it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Just that's part of the challenge of being on the trail, is that you're always going to need something and not have it and just keep making do. And I'm like, I just want to sew up my shirt already. Thank you. This is going to be a recurring segment called Talking Shirt. To be on top of a mountain. Just kidding, that wasn't the top. How do you feel, Smoke?
I feel great. I feel amazing. Give me like 6 of these moose walkies. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. That wind and that cold was crazy, but that was such a cool experience. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the whites. Like, going up was not easy, but your leg muscles are working, your heart's pumping, and you watch the trees change. First it starts out leafy greens, and it gets to pine trees, and it looks like short pine trees. Very cool to see the landscape change, and just a cool experience to work really hard and then achieve something, like knowing you're at the top of a mountain. That was so cool. I was coming down this steep set of steps. The rocks are slippery. Somehow, I don't really know how, but one of my feet slipped out from under me. I thought I was going to fall backwards down this hill, but I stuck out my hand. It was my right hand for demonstration purposes. But I grabbed this rock. Oh my gosh, that was so scary. I really thought I was going to go back that way. It's not cool. And my hand hurts now. There was a shelter about 2 miles coming down from Mount Moosilauke, so we stopped there. One of my friends I saw yesterday, Joshua, gave us some dehydrated meals, so that was a really nice treat. Filled me up, and it was really hard to get going again because I was so full, I'm so tired, and now this downhill is very, very rocky. Very treacherous. I've slipped a little bit. Well, the slip I had before wasn't just like a rare thing. Rocks are just very slippery, and it's all very rocky. I think when people were saying the whites were really hard, it wasn't like I pictured. It's just that the miles here take extra long. They're more difficult than your average terrain and steepness level and everything. So it's not a scary thing. It just takes longer to get through stuff. Right now I've gone like 6 miles today, so not the fastest hiking, but it's pretty. That was about 30 seconds, and I've moved maybe 10 feet. This is why it's taking forever. The rocks got smaller and further apart. That happened just after I put my poles on my back because I was just using my hands to lower myself down, using trees and boulders. It was faster that way. And now, what do I see ahead of me? There's stairs made out of rocks, which, you know, nothing to hold on to around you. So now I had to get my poles out again. I was stubborn about getting my poles, and so far it's been okay. I'm just using my hands and taking big steps. Haven't slipped yet. It's been 2 hours. One for the outtake reel, I guess. Anyway, it's been 2 hours of walking down this, and I'm still not even done yet. Still half a mile away. The trail finally turned into an actual trail with rocks instead of basically like walking down a ladder made of wet rocks. If I could give advice to future hikers, if there was a section, if you're normally going northbound, if there was a section to get someone to drop you off and go southbound, this would be it. Because it was so steep and it was basically a ladder on the northernmost side. For me coming down, for what I'm suggesting you to do, it would be going up, and that would be so much easier to go up it than down. You would get a lot more views of this waterfall. I think it would also help if I wasn't so safe and worried about falling. If I was just a faster hiker in general, I'm hiking with Smokemaster today, and he's way up ahead somewhere because he can just walk. You know, he doesn't like stop and think as much as I do. So if you are a slow hiker like me, just watch out. It's 7:45 and I am at camp for tonight. Just a stealth camp that I found on Far Out. Very glad to find a flat spot. Go to sleep. This is the first time that I've slept with my sleeping bag liner in my sleeping bag, worn a hat, worn a puffy since like the Damascus Marathon, which was before Virginia, which was like early May. Weird to see the summer is ending. Of course, it's also because of being in higher elevation up here in the Whites. You know, it's interesting. Today is going to be not as hard, but after that descent yesterday, I never know what to expect. You know, you can see the elevation, but you don't know what type of terrain it's gonna be if you're crawling over rocks or just walking on a perfectly flat path. We shall see.
BMC, you went for today, huh? You those today?
Normally I wouldn't be eating this much food, taking the time to make it, but you know, need the calories going up this next climb. It's gonna be Mount Kinsman. I mean, I thought I was gonna do Mount Kinsman next, but we were just chatting and another hiker said that shelter you have to pay $10 to stay there. And I'm like, I've been staying at these AT shelters for the past 5 months for free. I don't want to pay for one. It's really frustrating. We could camp somewhere, but it's going to be really cold. It's also nice to be around water and a privy. The shelter of the shelter is going to keep us warmer, but I don't know. We don't know what to do. What would you do? Comment below. So after much discussion, we're just gonna stay here because I also have like video stuff I need to time out. The other shelter is on top of a peak, so it would be colder. We did talk about, yeah, it's only $10, but it would just work out in general better if we stayed here. So yay, it's only 3 o'clock and I have the rest of the day to do stuff in the shelter. Wow. I do not feel great about only walking like 6 miles today, but that's the way it goes. We're in the Whites. Life is unpredictable. Smokemaster has 4 north sides, and we'll probably be going into town in the next couple days. Whereas I have 2, and we might be doing some bartering. This pesto is my favorite one, so I don't want to trade that. Would you be willing to trade a stroganoff for cheesy cheddar?
I'll trade you the chicken flavor for the cheesy cheddar.
What? No, you're the one with the cheesy
I'm
cheddar.
the one with the cheesy cheddar.
And you already have a stroganoff, so.
Right, yeah, so I would.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's such a bad trade.
No, stroganoff is actually my favorite.
No way.
Yeah.
Best boyfriend award right here.
You're gonna edit this out.
Just because he said that, I'm leaving it in. Anyway, it was nice to have an early night at the shelter and enjoy a delicious dinner.